Hi, good morning, grade 6. Once again, welcome to our English class. So, today, our lesson is about perfect progressive aspect of verbs. So, if you are all settled down, let's start our lesson. Alright, so let's begin with present perfect progressive tense. We have the form to follow. Has plus been plus present participle form of the verb ing. So grade 6, remember when we are making present progressive tense, we use the be verb is, which is present participle. So we also have the past participle of is, which is the was and were, right? And now we have the past participle of be verbs, which is been. Okay, so we use been to make present perfect progressive tense. We add it after has and have. Okay, for example, has been singing, has been traveling, has been planning. Okay, so we have plus been plus present participle form of the verb ing. Example, have been arguing, have been crying, have been using. So grade 6, remember we have the singular subject and the plural subject, right? So we use has for the singular, have for the plural subject. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about the meanings and uses. First is to talk about the duration of actions and events that began at a particular time in the past and has continued to the present and possibly into the future. Alright? So first example, Jenny has been looking for a job. Tony and Tim have been sitting in class since early this morning. As you see, has been looking, have been sitting are both in present perfect progressive tense. Okay, so in the first example, your subject is Jenny, which is singular. That is why you use has. Tony and Tim is in plural or plural subject. That is why you use have. Alright? So, the action here, which is sitting, is continuing action. Okay? So, let's say started sitting at 8 o'clock. So, it is continuing action up to the present and might be continuing or possibly into the future. So, you are giving emphasis on the completed part of the action, like started have been sitting in the past, so you're giving emphasis on that action, but still the action is ongoing into the present and might continue after the future. Okay, so next one is to talk about repeated actions or events in the past. First, he has been traveling around the world. The teachers have been attending seminars lately. So, have been attending and has been traveling are both in present perfect progressive tense. So, your subject is he. That is why you use has. Teachers is in plural form. That is why you use have. Okay? So, these two examples are both in past. Okay, happened in past. So you are referring to the action in the past that has been repeatedly done. So has been traveling, have been attending. So for example, the teachers have been attending seminars lately. So that is all happened. You are talking about their action, specific action that they were doing in the past. All right. Next example is to talk about habitual actions or events that began in the past and continue up to the present time. So example, she has been climbing the mountain. One Direction has been recording song in the USA. So as you see, these two example has been climbing and has been recording are both in perfect progressive present perfect progressive tense. So subject is she, that's why we use has. One Direction, that's why we use has been. Okay, One Direction is a group. Okay, that's why consider as singular. All right. So let's say in the second example, One Direction started recording, let's say last 2010, right? So it has been 10 years. And now it's 2021, they are still recording songs. Alright, so the action from the past continues to the present and it became habitual, right? So it became their, you are talking about the certain habits, but you started doing it in the past and you decided to do it up to the present. Like the first example, she has been climbing the mountain. So maybe she started it in the past, then she decided to do it up to the present time and it became her habit. Okay, which is the climbing the mountain. All right. So the next one is to talk about actions or events that are ongoing and are not yet completed. Okay. For example, the students have been doing their PAs. He has been editing the script for the upcoming shows. Okay, have been doing, has been editing are both in present perfect progressive. So, subject is students in the first example. That is why plural subject with s, so you use have. So, we use has. All right. So in the first example, you are related to this example, right? You can relate. So for example, started answering. So let's say the PAs was posted last July 18. So you started answering July 19, right? So that was in the past. Okay, so pass already, but still you are not yet done. So the action isn't completed, right? So you are still completing the your PA up to the present time. So the action is still ongoing. Okay? You are still answering up to the present time, which should I say? Okay? Clear? Are we clear, grade 6? All right, let's proceed. So now, let's talk about past perfect progressive tense. Past perfect progressive tense, we use had. So what is the past of have and has? Yes, it's had. So we use had for both have and has. Okay? So we use had plus been plus your present participle form of the verb ing. Okay? So when you say past, you are just changing the be verb, your be verb have and has. So you change it into the had. But you are still using the past participle form of be, which is been. Okay, so we have example here: had been planning, had been singing, or walking, had been dancing, had been studying. Okay, so first we have to talk about actions or events going into the past resulting to another actions. Okay, so for example, the teachers had been studying to pass the let exam. Those slaves had been struggling to survive in those years. So, teachers had been studying is the first action. So, next action is to pass. The idea here is like we need the first action to get the result of the second action, as you see in the first example, right? So, it shows that the action in the past was ongoing, which is the studying, because of the result that we want, which is to pass. All right? The next example, those slaves had been struggling to survive in those years. So as you see, two actions in one sentence, right? So had been struggling, um, was the action in is the action in the past that resulting to the second action, okay? To survive or to pass. All right? Okay, let's talk about the next one. This is to talk about ongoing actions or events in the past that are satisfied by past actions. Okay? First is I had been hoping to buy a car, so I was glad when my father gave me one. Next one is he has always been expecting to see you, so he was pleased when you came. As you see, been hoping is our ongoing action, okay, in the past. So gave is the second action. So he feels glad when the father bought him a car or gave him a car, right? So next example is been expecting to see you, so he was pleased when you came. Alright, so you can see two actions in one sentence as well. Let's say, first example, he has been hoping a car, but father gave him. So these two actions both happen in the past. Okay? Next, let's talk about future perfect progressive tense. So this tense can be used an ongoing action in the future. Okay, so this one, it hasn't happened yet, but you're talking about the future. Alright, but you're talking about the specific actions or ongoing actions in the future. So we also have the form will or shall plus the base form always, right? Have. So you can use for the singular and plural subject. Alright? So been plus present participle form of the verb ing. Example, will have been shopping, will have been talking, will have been joining, will have been learning. Okay, so let's talk about the duration of actions or events at a particular time in the future. For example, the school will have been operating for 6 years in October. Next month, I will have been studying English for 2 years. As you see, will have been operating and will have been studying are both in future perfect progressive. Okay, and you can see here is specific or particular time in the future. For example, number 1, 6 years in October. Next is for 2 years, right? Remember grade 6? The future perfect progressive tense is like the future perfect tense, but the difference only is in the future perfect progressive, it expresses longer actions or states extending up to some specific event or time in the future. Okay? Are we clear? Okay. All right, that ends our discussion for today. I'll see you again in our next class. Stay safe and God bless. Bye.